by Coach Mack. Could you scoot a little closer?
Big game. Sorry. As I said, what a game. Coming into the game, Duke had won, 4 or 5 in a row, and just quite honestly, those games weren't close. We felt like we were going to be facing an offensive juggernaut, at least as of late. They've changed a lot. They've improved a lot. But I thought our guys, we just battled. We battled. And, to have 5 turnovers at half, to not give up an offensive rebound in the first half. We knew that in the second half they were going to come out and they were going to respond. It's a little similar to last year's game here, if you think about it. We were up pretty big, and they come out and they punch you in the mouth a little bit. I thought a few of the layups and not being strong with the ball early in the second half allowed them to get right back in it, but you give them credit. And then Matthew Hurt, as I told our players, he's special. We put everybody on our team on him. He just has such a high release. We try to deny him the ball, and then he takes guys into the post. If you don't switch his ball screens, they're just going to drag it out and throw it back to him, and you won't be there on the catch. So when you switch his ball screen, you're going to put the smallest guy in there, a guy like Carleek or David. So he's really difficult matchup, one of the best players in the country. But we got one of the best players in the country, too, and he made some plays down the stretch. And for our team to respond the way they did in overtime, Carleek misses the free throw. We get the ball back, miss the shot, come to the bench knowing that we really controlled or felt like we controlled almost the entire game, to now have to go to overtime. We responded a year ago with a veteran team. And today we had a lot of young guys making some plays. Quinn walked out on the floor in overtime and said, "Coach, I got you." I didn't know what that meant, but he knocked that 3 in and hit some clutch free throws. Carleek made some incredible plays. Sam really is playing well. So excited, and we'll turn the page and play a really good Virginia Tech team on Wednesday.
Coach, I don't even know where to start, although I guess that's a good thing on a night like this. But let's start back with Matthew, with Hurt, and the performance. You did put everybody on him. I think 4 guys in the first half. But besides what he was doing and making shots, your defense in the first half to get you the lead was about as good as it's been, hasn't it? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it needs to be. We maybe the first 4 or 5 minutes weren't on it. But after that point, Jody, our first half defense from maybe the 15-minute mark all the way down to the end of the half was lights out. It was phenomenal. And Malik going out hurt us in the second half. We couldn't play as many guys. Dave gets in foul trouble. So we weren't as nasty and as stiff on the defensive end as we needed to be. We got stops when we needed, and I agree. I thought our defense last 15 minutes of the half was terrific.
Any update on Malik? Do you know, did he get stepped on, it looked like maybe at one point?
Not sure if he got stepped on or he stepped on somebody. I can't remember how Fred explained it, so just wanted to be cautious with him and figure out what it is, and we'll do that tomorrow, and hopefully he's good to go, and we get him back out there.
You had Sam and Jalen were really battling. You were down early in the first half in rebounds by about 3 or 4. You went ahead and you just kind of continued to bat. It was those 2 guys were doing such a good job on the boards for you. A lot of times they were kind of fighting each other for it, especially in the first half. That really kind of helped you get the lead when you got it in the first half.
Yeah, I think, Jody, our team's turning into a pretty daggone good offensive rebounding team. We're sending almost every possession 4 to the glass, which worries you a little bit because, you have to have that defensive balance. But we just feel like, hey, if we're not going to be a prolific 3-point shooting team and we miss a shot, we got to go get it. We got to figure out a way to get it. Sam, when Malik's in there, is playing the 3. He's a tough matchup to keep off the glass. He's got great timing. He snags everything with 2 hands. He's never casual with it. Jalen becomes a much harder mismatch. He doesn't have a 7-footer on him. And he got some timely offensive rebounds to kick out at the end of the game. So yeah, that's what our approach needs to be on the glass for sure.
David fouls out. He struggled a little bit there when you actually put him back in because he had sat for so long.
Yeah, David's got to make better decisions. I mean, they're pressing us and they're trapping and we get 3-on-2 breaks. He's got to do better. I'm not going to mince words. He's got to do better. You're 3-on-2. You either have to pull it out, you have to dunk the ball, or you have to make the defense commit to you and then hit the guy that's filling a lane on either side, and that's a layup. And he got sped up, and he's got to get better at that. I mean, but now, having said that, he's been on again, off again, sick again. He hasn't. He was in a really good rhythm, I thought, when we played Georgia Tech, and then, wheels fell off for our team, and he's missed a lot of time. So we do need to get his timing back. I mean, he hasn't been perfect in practice. I think he'd be the first to tell you. But, to play 31 minutes too now, Jody, he's only been sitting on 2 practices.
At the end of regulation, Carly was getting into the lane a couple times. The last play, he couldn't get into the lane. He had to kind of settle for that shot. Go through the last after he missed the free throw and Jalen gets the big offensive rebound. I was kind of what you wanted to see from them.
Yeah, I wasn't. We weren't going to call timeout. Jalen made a great play to swim around his guy and track down the offensive rebound. An even better play for a freshman to laser it out. Sometimes a guy can get, rattled with the game pressure he has on him, and now it results in a turnover. So, we took the last shot of the game. And I think anybody, watching this press conference would say, that's the guy we want taking it now. I think he wants to get to the basket. He certainly didn't try to be the hero and settle, but I think he had Wendell Moore on him, who's a great defensive player. He's 6'6", he's long, he chested him up. And Carlik didn't have 25, 30 seconds to play with him, Jody. He had about 8 or 7 seconds. So I thought it was a good look, and we went after the offensive glass hard, and it wasn't to be. So, it was a great response from our team when we went to overtime. You said
Quinn said, I got you, Coach. He comes out, he hits that 3. He hadn't taken a field goal an attempt all night. He hits that 3 and then hits those 2 free throws that were just huge at the very end to extend it.
Yeah, from the day that Quinn got here a year ago, 2 years ago now, he's the only thing he's about is the team. Well, that's the only thing he's about. If he plays 2 minutes tonight, he doesn't pout. If he plays 32 minutes, he's going to play the same exact way. And so it's always rewarding to see a guy that is so for the team to make some plays like that in such a big game.
Last thing, I know you don't worry about resumes. You don't worry about the future. You worry about the game now and what's coming in hand. But what does this mean to get a win with Malik going out, with DJ and Jalen fouling out, for the resilience of this team? What does that mean for that locker room?
Yeah, I think it means a lot. They have a belief in themselves. We had 2 of the longest COVID pauses. That a lot of teams have maybe had 1. Some haven't had any. And, we got a young crew. We're not practicing. And then, we get our brains beat out at Carolina. And I love our response. Everybody leaves us for dead. And, people say, they're not that good. And maybe we aren't. But we're battling. And, we just listen. Those guys listen to themselves. They allow themselves to be coached. And I was really proud of their effort today and the resiliency we went to overtime.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Jody.
Go to questions now from the media. We'll start with Shannon.
Carlik had such an amazing stat line tonight, and to do what he did in just 40 in playing 44 minutes, just sitting out for 1 minute, how contagious is it for the rest of your team when he's just hitting on all cylinders like that and able to find guys also?
He's dynamic player. Shannon, he just is. He's a great teammate. I think a lot of times, we all see the highlight plays. We see him, going around big guys off the dribble and, using his body and scoring. But unbelievable teammate. And that's the thing that's been really rewarding to watch. There's no entitlement. He went to a smaller school out of high school. Nobody recruited him. And he continues to play with that chip on his shoulder. His teammates love him. And he was terrific today.
Go to Matt and then Tyler.
Hey, Coach. Matt McGavick with Sports Illustrated. Ever since the Georgia Tech game, Samuel Williamson has been playing with his hair on fire. He had 14 points tonight, 12 rebounds. When Sam is playing like this, how does he change the complexion of this team and what kind of damage they can do?
Yeah, I mean, Sam, I think that, we've had a couple talks, and I think, first of all, he's gaining experience. It's like everybody's path is different. Some guys they touch the college court and everything works out well for them for day one. Sam had to go through some things. I think he had to figure out, who he is as a player when he's at his best. I don't think that he has to be this guy that's lighting it up from three. I think he's an elite mid-range shooter. I think he's turned into one of the better rebounders. Obviously, statistics bear it out. One of the best rebounders in our league. And, he's not 6'9", 230 pounds, the crazy vertical. He's got great timing. And nobody on our team puts in more time than Sam. We practice at 2:30. Sam's already been in the gym twice. And if it weren't for COVID, he'd come back a fourth time.
Go to Tyler.
Hey, Chris, you're somebody who talks about toughness and resiliency a lot, particularly with this group and kind of learning the lessons of that over the course of this year. Is this the kind of win that epitomizes that type of effort, considering David's got to go out the game, Malik's got to go out, you go to overtime and just have to grind it out at the end?
It's a big part of it. We just got to figure it out. Guys get in foul trouble, and now maybe our five is guarding hurt. Maybe the next possession our two guards guarding them. And, I'm just a big believer that if you can take care of the basketball, if you can limit second shots and play together and play with a toughness that you can compete in any game you play. And our team, has not arrived, not even close. We got a lot of young guys, and we're learning lessons. It feels good to be on the right end of the ledger after your guys give the type of effort they did today.
Eric?
Yeah, Chris, you mentioned this a little bit with Jody, but I think it's a key thing, really, that this is not, Dwayne Sutton and Jordan and guys who've been playing forever who are stepping in. You're now getting to see Williamson and Quinn Slazinski and Withers. They're in tough situations, especially the last two games. To see them respond this way, is that, you don't always see the maturity just come, but it looks like it's arrived for some guys or started to.
And they're making mistakes. We ran a play in the overtime where Jalen cut the wrong way, and it really gets your teammates sort of out of sorts. And then he makes up for it, gets an and one in the same possession, when he cuts off of Quinn. But, we make a lot of mistakes, but we got coachable guys. So much is being thrown at them, time, score. We couldn't worry about time and score situations in practice. We had to get in shape. We had to get up and down, up and down. So, to do the things that we did, aren't always going to be perfect, but I just think that says a lot about you when you can battle through some, tough moments. And our guys are learning that. They're gaining experience.
Coach, that'll do it for this one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be back with players shortly.